Good morning, Enid. It's good to see you again. I'm Steve Keim. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday, April 20th. Where in the world, Jamara, is this month going, or where's the year going? Where's the past decade going?
Too fast.
As quick as it is. Thank you for joining us. Outside right now, it's kind of cloudy. Got a few sprinkles, kind of got a north breeze around 16 miles per hour. It seems like this front's kind of pushing through the area with some rain in the area and a few sprinkles on the windshield. But it's a very cool 63 degrees, and I think we have reached today's high because there's a 60% chance of rain today. Well, we'll talk more weather in just a moment. But thank you for joining us. Grab a cup of coffee. Join us for our fastest 30 minutes of the morning. News, weather, and sports all right here.
Good morning, Steve.
Good morning.
I'm Jomara Ortiz, and as always, we're coming live to over 14,000 homes in Enid. We're also live streaming around the globe via the World Wide Web. This is Good Morning, Enid.
And it is time to rise and shine. Out on the farm, it's wide open space. It's clear. You can see all the bright.
Oklahoma receives a real ID extension through June 2017.
You're in your 30s or your 40s, for example.
You'll just want to show up at 4:30, but we do encourage you to purchase a
A ton of stuff going on here at the Central National Bank Center. Come on down.
Just send us an email, and we'll be happy to share.
Hello.
Hey, Derek. Good morning.
Yes, sir.
It's Thursday again. You know what that means?
Yes, sir.
It's time to rise and shine.
I'm on my way.
Good morning, Jamara.
Good morning. I'm on my way.
Good morning, Brooke.
Good morning. I'm on my way.
Good morning, Enid. 7:31. Thank you for joining us again today. Let's take a look at some of the current temps if you're going to be traveling today on business or just visiting. As you can see across the state, we're in the 60s pretty much, except one area. At Big Mac is at 70 degrees, but up in Tonkawa at 65. You know, as I mentioned, the cold front was in the northern part of the state, pushing towards the south, so it's typically a little cooler up north. And again, today's high is going to be around 63, so there's the statewide temps. So if you go north, south, east, or west, it's going to be in the 60s. Well, it's good to see you again. Welcome back. I'm the one that was gone, right? I'm saying welcome back
good
to you.
to see you. I hope you're feeling better.
I am feeling better. Yeah, the back is back. You know,
Good,
boy, you
good.
need a back. You know, it's amazing what a healthy back does for a person. I know on this weekend I will not be using my back for yard work or anything. But what's the forecast look like?
Well, let's see.
Is it a good forecast for yard work that I'm not going to do?
Well, it is somewhat. As you can see, it's going to be windy
wow.
and partly cloudy. There's a chance of storms on Friday, but high temperature will be 68 on Sunday.
Wow.
So it seems that we're going to cool down this weekend.
Yeah, look at those
some
50s.
More. Yes.
Wow. And yesterday was hot. It was 81, 82
Yes.
degrees.
Yes,
it was hot. So, oh well, must be Oklahoma. So,
Right.
well, it's 7:33 again. Thank you for joining us on our really early, quick Thursday morning. I understand the Thunder played last night. I imagine our sports reporter will give us that update.
Yeah.
I don't think we have good news about the Thunder.
Oh, no.
But anyway. I always look forward to the Oklahoma Minute because we have the bow tie guy, Derek Silas, who keeps us updated on what happened in the news overnight. So at 7:34 this morning, it's time for the Oklahoma Minute.
Oklahoma receives a real ID extension through June 2017. And Oklahoma natives and country music
Enid City Attorney Andrea Chisholm was recently recognized by the Office of the Secretary of Defense, receiving the Patriot Award. The plaque was presented during a ceremony at the City of Enid offices on April 7th. Are you a writer and do you love the power of the pen? Well, the Enid Writers Club will present a day of writing, a free writing event from 12:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday, April the 22nd at the Enid Public Library. Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist David Fallis, an Oklahoman now working for the Washington Post, will deliver the keynote address for the Society of Professional Journalists in Stillwater on April 22nd. And in last night in sports, in the Western Conference playoffs in Game 2, the Thunder played against the Rockets in Houston. The final score was Houston 115, Oklahoma City 111. They would come again head-to-head tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. in Oklahoma City. And on this day in history, in 1999, two teenage gunmen killed 13 people in a shooting spree in Littleton, Colorado, known as the Massacre at Columbine High School. And that's the Oklahoma Minute. Back to you, Steve and Jamara.
Thank you, Derek. The lesson there is for Steve not to go to sleep, because when I was awake, the Thunder was ahead. But I fell asleep on them, and then they... I don't know.
There you go.
The momentum was shifting when I was dozing off, so it didn't look like they were going to hold the lead. So they tried.
explains.
Bless their hearts, they tried. It's 7:35, and I'm really excited about our guest that'll join us at the round table in just a few moments. One of our favorite persons or favorite guest. And do you say homeboy? Is that the word? If you're born and raised in this community? As I was born and raised in Perry, I guess I'm a homeboy from Perry. We'll use that term respectfully. We'll use that term. Anyway, we've got our special guest coming up at the round table in just a few moments. So, if you have any pictures or news or anything that you'd like for us to share on the show, what do they need to do tomorrow?
Well, they just need to contact gme@enid.org. Send us an email with their pictures and questions, family pictures, vacation pictures, anything.
And graduation?
Yes.
Can you imagine that?
These are coming pretty soon.
Yeah. Wow. All right.
Well, Steve, Enid, as always, is very busy. And to tell us what's happening around town, here's Enid Entertainment. And today we have Brooke Bodie.
You'll just want to show up at 4:30, but we do encourage you to purchase a ticket because there won't be that many contestants.
Good morning, Enid. Hope you're having a great morning this morning. This weekend, if you're looking for something to do, tomorrow you will see all the trucks loading in for the Hanor Smokin' Red Dirt Barbecue. This is Enid's annual KCBS Barbecue State Championship. They have so much planned for this weekend, so starting tomorrow night at 5 o'clock, free burgers while they last, courtesy of Roberts Ranch and the National Pork Board. 6 p.m. are the People's Choice event for $8 a plate. And then we'll have live music inside Convention Hall starting at 7 p.m. Then on Saturday from 11 to 1:30, the Enid Noon Ambuck lunch for $8 a plate. Then at 11 o'clock, live music just before the KCBS Contest Award Ceremony at 3:30. Right after that, you'll want to come on down to the arena right here for the Land Run Beer Fest. Going to be a great event. You can get your tickets here right before the event, so hope to see you this weekend for that. Then 1 week from today, we will have Justin Moore returning with Lee Bryce and special guest Brett Young. Really glad to have all of those artists here for a great concert next week. Then looking into May, on May 4th, tickets are also available for Decades Rewind. You'll want to be sure to listen in because we have 4 to 5 announcements coming up within the next couple of months. For a full list of all of our events, visit our website at cmbcenter.com. Thank you, and back to you in the studio, Steve and Jamara.
Very good, Brooke. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Brooke.
It's just amazing all the events that we have in the community.
Yes.
And but it's becoming habit forming. You know, it's becoming the norm, I guess is what I'm saying,
Yes.
which is really good. Okay, it's holding steady at 63 degrees. Let's take a look at the bus stop forecast, just in case. It seems like very few people ride the bus to school anymore. It seems like everybody gets delivered to the front doorstep. But anyway, the forecast looks like this. High today is 67, but as Penn Klein said earlier this morning, Steve, I think we've already reached our today high because the temperature keeps going down. Anyway, going to be a rather strong breeze out of the north, so bundle up the kids a little bit. I know it's April 20th, but it's still kind of cool out there, especially with the moisture in the air. Chance of rain throughout the day is 60%, so that's the bus stop forecast. And I'm always looking for my next meal, so help us out. What do we got for lunch today?
I know. Let's see. For Thursday, there's chicken legs, mixed veggies, baked okra.
Chicken legs.
Is that a wheat grain hot roll? Whole grain. Sorry. Diced pears and
It could be
milk.
wheat grain.
Yeah. For Friday, there's chili dog and cheese, sun chips, carrots, green peas, diced peaches, and milk. So I think Friday looks better.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
that's just me. I don't
Okay, so I'm
like
not going
okra.
to school today, but I'll go Friday then.
Right. Well, you can go,
all
but just don't eat.
All based on the menu. All right, we've got to get to our special guest at the round table here in just a few moments, but let's look at this video, Enid on the Move, and we'll be right back.
Now, Joe, what about if you're just starting, you're thinking about saving money, and
Thank you, AJ. Good morning, Enid. 7:41. Under cloudy skies and a few sprinkles in the area, holding steady at 63 degrees, but I think we've reached today's high, so dress accordingly. One of my favorite persons here in town, if I can say persons, is Mike Fields, our district attorney. Mike, good to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
You bet. Thank you for
Good
having me.
morning.
I understand that you've been doing a little bit of TV circuit. You was on and Channel 4, I just lost the name of the show.
Flashpoint.
Flashpoint, thank
Flashpoint.
you. I don't have memory problems at all, you know, and then he was on the show on Channel 9 and now on Good Morning Enid. So, Mike, thanks for taking time. I know you're a big advocate for, victims' rights and things of this nature. But this month in April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So it's a topic that probably needs to be addressed. It's uncomfortable, probably, oftentimes, to be addressed. But right off the bat, what is, sexual violence? Can you kind of define it for us? As a district
Absolutely.
attorney, I'm sure there's the legal term, if you will.
Yeah, so glad to have the opportunity to come
You're welcome.
and to hopefully raise the level of awareness about sexual assault in our community and in our nation. The easiest definition is sexual assault. We define that as any unwanted sexual activity, any unwanted sexual activity. And it's usually accomplished through force, fear, coercion, manipulation, threats, that sort of thing.
Okay. Well,
Now, Mike, who are typically the victims of sexual assault? Can you clarify that for us?
Yeah, absolutely. Victims of sexual assault are all of us. I mean, they're all around us all the time. People that you would maybe never imagine been the victims of sexual assault. No respecter of persons, no respecter of socioeconomic status. But statistically, we know that 95% of sexual assault victims are women, and about half of that 95% are under the age of 18.
oh, my.
Wow.
Wow. Well, a lot of these topics or a lot of the questions that we prepared today are, I would just classify as on the sensitive side, if you will, and not to be judgmental or anything. But my next question talks a little bit about the offenders. Is there a profile? Is there, well, I guess that is the question. Is there a profile of these offenders?
I don't know that we can say that there's a
And that
profile.
may, I'm
maybe
sorry,
in
that
the
may be the
sense-
wrong word.
No,
but-
I think I know what you mean. There may not be a profile in the sense of we can define it clearly, but there certainly is a profile in the sense that we know that the overwhelming majority of perpetrators are people that have a close relationship to the people that they victimize. So in other words, we like to, sometimes we think that sexual assault occurs in the dark alley with a total stranger, and certainly that does happen sometimes. But by and large, the overwhelming majority are committed by people that they know, 2/3 in fact.
And
Oh, wow.
has that been the case basically since records have been kept?
It has.
Okay,
It has. And if
okay.
you think about it, it makes sense because to perpetrate on somebody, it needs to be someone that's in a position of authority, position of influence, somebody that we're close with, that sort of thing.
Maybe trust?
Absolutely.
Something
It's a
like
big
that.
one.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow. And Mike, we know that victims of sexual assault, they go through a tremendous trauma, and that has an impact on their lives. Some of them have considered suicide. But what are the effects of sexual violence that you've seen or are more familiar with?
Absolutely, wide-ranging effects. Sexual assault is a crime that leaves scars that last a lifetime. And it's scars that we can't see on the outside because they're psychological, emotional. It's that feeling of never quite getting your peace of mind back, always being fearful, always being afraid, those sorts of things. Yeah, so, like I said, scars that last a lifetime.
Thank you for joining us this morning. Our special guest at the roundtable is District Attorney Mike Fields. Mike, you mentioned that 95% of those that have been the result of assault, 95% were women. And then I guess you said half of that were people under 18 or whatever. So what can a person do to kind of lower the risk of this? Of sexual violence?
There are several things that you can do that are just kind of commonsensical. In other words, if you're going to go out, then it's better to go out with a group. Arrive together, leave together. Never leave your drinks unattended in a public place because we know that drug-facilitated sexual assault has become a huge problem all across our nation. And I would say that one of the most important things is, don't be isolated with someone that you might not feel comfortable with or that you might not know that well. And then finally, I would say, have that thought process in your mind beforehand about the level of intimacy that you're willing to engage in with this person that you're with. Think about that beforehand so that you're not having to think about that in a stressful situation kind of on the fly, so that it becomes much more easy for you to communicate and define those boundaries as you get closer and closer to those boundaries.
Well, and I think you've just answered one of our questions about how many people are affected by sexual violence. Is this a big problem in Oklahoma, in Garfield County?
It is. And unfortunately, it's a problem everywhere. This stat blows me away, guys, every time I hear it. 1 in 6 women have either been raped or been the victim of an attempted rape at some point in their lifetime. And that's unbelievable.
And that's Garfield County.
1 in 6, yeah, and that's all across our nation.
Oh, wow.
It's amazing. There may be some misconceptions or some myths regarding sexual violence or sexual assault. What are some of the common ones?
I think I touched on one of the most common ones, and that is that sexual assaults are committed by total strangers.
Oh yeah, the dark alley.
Yeah, and certainly they can be.
4 in the morning kind of.
Absolutely,
Yeah. Okay.
but that's a small minority.
Okay.
The other myth that I always like to speak on is the idea that somehow it's the victim's fault. And if you think about it, sexual assault is the only category of crime that we consider certain things. In other words, for someone who's been burglarized, we never say, hey, you know what, if you didn't live in such a nice house, and maybe your house wouldn't have been burglarized. We never say, hey, because your watch was so nice, I mean, maybe it wouldn't have been stolen. We never ask those sorts of questions in the context of any other crime except for sexual assault.
Interesting.
Wow. So what can you do if you're being a victim of sexual violence? Where can you go for help? Because if you mention that 2/3 of the people that have been affected, they knew their perpetrator and probably they trust them.
Absolutely.
So what can they do to ask for help?
You know, I think that the biggest thing is to realize that sexual assault as a category of crime is probably the single most underreported category of crime that we have. Very personal, very private, deep wounds, deep scars, not something that a lot of people are comfortable reporting. But I want to encourage people to report, preserve evidence, don't change clothes, go and get medical attention, because there's ways that we can gather evidence and preserve evidence. Hey, report. Don't be afraid to do that. Just know that there are people out there that want to stand with victims, want to help them, want to help restore them, want to help them on that journey toward healing.
Mike, you just shared earlier in our visit that the percentage, if you will, or there's a number of people that are impacted by this under the age of 18. Let's take that a little bit, say younger. What can we do as parents, grandparents? What can we do to protect, my child from sexual abuse?
Great question.
More common sense approaches?
Yes, absolutely. And there's two things that I harp on in regard to the way we coach up our children to try and lessen the chances that they'll be victimized. The first is communication. We need to be constantly communicating with our children, and the way I describe it is we need to be blunt with them. We need to tell them, hey, it's never okay for someone to touch you here. It's never okay for someone to touch you there. It's never okay for an adult to say, don't tell your mom and dad about this. It's never okay. And so we need to constantly be sending that message to our children. They get back from places, we need to say, did anybody touch you inappropriately? Did anybody do anything to make you feel uncomfortable? Did anybody do anything to you? And then say, don't tell your mom and dad. Those are questions that just need to be a regular part of our discussions with our children. And then the last thing I would say is, as parents, we've got to trust our instincts. That mama bear instinct is a real thing. And as parents, if there's something that we don't quite feel right about, whenever we see our children, they interact a little differently with someone else, or our child seems to be maybe a little more withdrawn than usual, acting a little differently, hey, trust our instincts and let's start asking questions.
Very good. Our time is about gone this morning. Jamar's got one more question, I believe.
Yes, and our last question is there a local number that people can call for help?
Absolutely. YWCA, right here in town, right across the street from the hospital on Garriott. Tremendous resources for victims of sexual assault, counseling, drug and alcohol treatment, help people get back on the right track. So yeah, YWCA is a great resource.
Okay.
And while we're on that topic, let me get a plug in, Steve.
Sure.
The first Friday of May, downtown square, it's going to be Walk a Mile in Her Shoes. It's going to be community leaders, all kinds of folks in our community. We put on the red high heel shoes and we walk around the downtown squares to raise awareness about sexual assault, domestic violence, and to raise some money for the YWCA.
I've seen some of the evidence of pictures of that,
yes.
and in your world is evidence, right?
That's right.
So I had to throw that word in there. Mike Fields, our district attorney, thank you so much. This is
Thank you.
A topic that needs to be discussed, and thank you for helping us with it, Mike. Appreciate you being
Thank you
here
for the
this morning.
opportunity.
Yes.
And again, that number 234-7581 is the number to call. Well, it's 7:52, holding steady with 63 degrees, and we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with more Good Morning Enid.
Hello, I'm Andrea Chisholm. I'm the City Attorney for the City of Enid. I represent the City of Enid, and I advise the City Council, City Departments, and City Boards and Commissions regarding legal and regulatory matters of concern to the City and its operations. In addition, my office represents the City in all City lawsuits and administrative proceedings filed against or on behalf of the City. The City's legal department is divided into two divisions, Legal Services and the Municipal Court. If I can be of service to you, please contact me at the number provided on our website. Thank you.
Okay, welcome back. Thank you. And Jamar, one of the dreams, if you will, or the goals of having Good Morning Enid 3 years ago when we started this was to have topics like this that we could discuss with a professional, someone who's near and dear to it, but has a wealth of information. So I appreciate Mike Fields, our district attorney, coming to us at the round table today. So, okay, in case you missed the news overnight, we have a guy that can bail you out. That's our
bow tie guy.
The bow tie guy.
Yes.
Derek Silest for the Oklahoma Minute.
The City of Enid is accepting applications to fill an unexpired term for Ward 2 Commissioner through May 2019. And Saturday is Earth Day, April the 22nd, and they will have the Great American Cleanup event at the Cleveland Trailhead. Also, on Saturday, the Enid Symphony will have a great celebration at 7 o'clock p.m., and Sunday they will also perform at 2 o'clock p.m. In sports last night, The Thunder played against the Rockets, and the score was Houston 115, Oklahoma City 111. They will play again tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. in Oklahoma City. And in 1999, this day in history, 2 teenage gunmen killed 13 people in a shooting spree in Littleton, Colorado, known as the Massacre at Columbine High School. And that's the Oklahoma Minute. Back to you, Stephen Jamara.
Thank you, Derek, our bow tie guy. So, well, we have kind of a plan on who introduces who, and I kind of jumped over that plan there a little bit. Sorry about that. If you're able to stick around at 8 o'clock this morning, we've got an interview that was done last year with Marion Blumenthal Lazan. She's a Holocaust survivor, and I believe April 24th will be Holocaust Remembrance Day.
Yes.
Is that it? And so she spent 6 years as a little girl in a prison camp. Incredible story.
Yeah.
And that's coming up at 8 o'clock this morning, so if you can stay around for that. Okay, real quick, 3-day forecast tomorrow.
Well, let's see.
50s?
If you thought you could do some yard work, you might get something done.
My
It's going to be
back won't let me this weekend, but
partly cloudy and windy, and the highest temperature will be Sunday with 68 degrees. As you can see, it's going to be, those temperatures are going to go down.
Yeah.
Saturday, 38.
Yep.
What's that?
Yeah, what's that? Okay, that means
Yeah.
blankets. So
Yeah.
okay, we need to bring Brooke back for Enid Entertainment, and let's see what Brooke has to say right now.
I'm right outside the Central National Bank Hospitality Suite, right inside the Central National Bank Center Arena. This weekend, we have so much going on with the Honor Smokin' Red Dirt Barbecue. This is Enid's annual KCBS Barbecue State Championship. For a full list of what's going on tomorrow and Saturday, visit reddirtbarbecue.etownthemagazine.com. Hope to see you this weekend for the Red Dirt Barbecue and the Land Run Beer Fest. We do have tickets available for that as well, so hope to see you there. Also, we want to see you here next week for the Justin Moore, Lee Brice, and Brett Young concert. And then on May 4th, we'll have Decades Rewind. Now, you want to be sure to listen in for all of our upcoming events. We have about 4, maybe even 5 announcements within the next couple of months. So stay tuned on our Facebook page and website, cmbcenter.com. Thank you, and back to you in the studio, Jamara and Steve.
Thank you, Brooke, for that wealth of information. 7:57 this morning, holding steady again, 63 degrees. Chance of rain today, 60% off and on.
Yep.
Well, it's time for our pooch segment, our favorite pet.
Yes.
Charlotte Ringwald's in the house, in the studio. Charlotte, good morning. Who did you bring today? I think Jamara's got the fast facts. You got
Charlotte, she brought Caitlin.
a lap dog.
Yes, her name is Caitlin, and she's a Pit Terrier mix.
Oh, look at the color.
She's
So
about
beautiful.
a year old, and the cost to adopt is $105, between $105 and $125, and it covers the rabies shot and spaying. As you can see, Caitlin is friendly and sweet. She loves treats, and she needs a home. So please remember contacting Enid Adopt a Pet information number 249-49110, and also there's an adoption event this Saturday at Atwood's from 10 to 2.
Okay. And so what's her puppy dog's name again?
Caitlin.
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 Well, what a gorgeous color.
She is beautiful.
So Charlotte, thank you for bringing. And again, the Girl Scouts provides a leash. Is that correct? The pink-colored leash. And so this puppy dog needs a home.
She needs a home, Steve.
Okay. 249-4910 is the number to call. Also for the Sexual Assault Awareness Month, the number to call 234-7581 if you want information on that. The number at the wild. We got to go, folks. Good seeing everyone. Good
Yeah.
morning, Enid.
Have a great day, Enid.